Hello, beautiful people. My name is Marika Gare, and this is the Inspiration Trilogy podcast. So it's a platform for women to share wisdom and advice and really just share the journey in life through, meaningful conversations. So today's guest is Donna Moala. Now, you are the founder of Bub to Sleep, and you're a sleep sense consultant, but you're also a mother of three. So, look, welcome to the show. How's your morning?
Lovely, thank you. It's always busy with me helping with my clients and my family, but I feel like I've got a little bit of balance at the moment, which is usually unattainable in my life, but running a bit late to this, as I'll let you know. But thank you so much. I love sharing my stories, and I love being really vulnerable and authentic to hear if some other mother can understand that it's actually real life, that these things happen, then chat about it, isn't it, and share our stories.
Yeah, because let's face it, honestly, the mothering journey, it doesn't matter how prepared you think you are, it's just, it throws you, and
it's brutal.
You are constantly changing and developing and learning, and then going through the no sleep through various different stages. So look, tell us a little bit about you and your journey and how you got to where you are with your business.
What
and
I'm doing. Yeah. I have a big journey and a big life full of lots of trauma and exciting stuff and whatever. The best way to explain myself is I have definitely from the age of 17 been on a self-discovery journey, not meaning to end up being where I am now, but a dad that suffered trauma and my mum didn't, and then trying to figure stuff out why I felt like I was traumatized, which I wasn't really. But long story short, I've been on this journey of discovery, which is always led me to just not settling, I suppose. And that doesn't mean, like that there's times where I don't want to leave the house, or I'm in my pajamas for weeks, or so, that let's normalize that, because if we live in this world, and I was the worst at it, is if we rest, we're lazy. And so even if we were resting, if we're a stay-at-home mum or whatever, you're made to feel guilty about that, right? So we live in this world of go, 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 and that is not our biological bodies are not meant to do that. And also our minds don't get to rest because we're being mothers. I'm a mother of 3 teenage girls. It is insane. So, and if you look on the outside, we've worked really hard. We've got a nice house in a nice suburb. We're still married, 3 kids that really lovely go to private school. BS on that, because, it is lovely and I'm really proud of what we've done, but the depths of darkness and stuff that we've had to go through for our life individually as mum and dads, and myself as a woman, us trying to heal ourselves when we're wanting to be parents. So everybody, no matter how beautiful their childhood was, will find times in parenting challenging.
Absolutely.
It's just the real story. Every single mother that I come in contact with, or, I know there are some mums that aren't doing the right thing. I'm not saying that. There are some mums that have done the wrong thing, probably not even their fault, because they would have been traumatized, right? So I'm not saying every mum's doing the right thing. Any mum that I'm ever in contact with, through business, through school, through my work, every single mother is trying to do the best thing. And what's happening is they're trying to do the best thing, but that's actually, they're just losing themselves and not being able to use the parental instinct. So I very much years ago would not share these stories, and I'm going to start continuing to share them, because what I find when I am vulnerable and tell the truth, I might get that one mum that goes, "Thank you, Donna. Thank you for sharing that story." So the journey, in a summary, everyone has a story, right? Everyone has a story. When we become mothers, then that we can control our little situation when our babies are like 1 to 5 or 6, and everyone's happy and they love us unconditionally, and we say, eat those veggies, and they'll probably do it. But you start to get, well, maybe not. Okay, maybe let's not do veggies. Let's just say, I don't know, give me a cuddle. Can you give me a cuddle? I might do it. But then you get to about 12 and we can't parent anymore. We can guide. And that was a big thing I've only just figured out. So my journey is my obsession and purpose in life about sleep, and that will never, ever change. But what that's evolved with over the last 6.5, 7 years, my children have got older, so from 12 onwards, and it's been a real shit show. And because I've tried to fix, make perfect, have this, do this is what it's got to look like. And the more I did that, the more my kids just went, no thanks. And and then,
Yeah.
had a fuss about it. So as the last 6 years have evolved and I've evolved, I'm now studying to be a conscious parenting expert. So the combination meaning sleep and understanding parenting, that it's not to scare people, but in this crazy busy life and world we live in, let's go back to the basics.
Yep.
Let's go back to slow down. Let's go back to great sleep. Let's go back to allowing yourself to parent. Let's go back to co-sleeping if you want to, or not. If you don't want to co-sleep, don't do it. If you don't want to breastfeed, don't do it. So, I mean,
because every child and every mother is different, and we all have different situations, different experiences, different things to bring to the table. We can't be perfect.
Sure.
We try with everything on social media. There's like these beautiful women who have this gorgeous life, who, perfect children, all this kind of thing. And even though we know that that's not normal so many of us in our minds, we don't want to sort of reach out or say we're struggling, or, we want to be able to have that, I guess, facade of being.
It just comes. It comes. Everything. I think. Yeah, and I think back when I was a younger mum, not that I'm that old, but younger mum, we didn't have the influence of Instagram, YouTube, Google, right? Yep. I already was a highly anxious young mum, not knowing I had anxiety back then, who wanted perfection, right?
Yeah.
This is why I'm so obsessed about talking about this. I have to control myself most days of what I'm looking at to either unfollow or, at the depths of when I was not feeling great. So the last 3 years, we're out of it now. Our two elders had really severe mental health issues, which is very common these days, and people don't talk enough.
It really is.
Yeah. Again, I just saw my dad, and he's old school, bless him, and we were talking about this, and he's like, well, why? I said, Dad, why? You need to take the why out. For all, if someone saw our life, why? But it's not about that. It's about the life that we live in now, and being able to understand that. Stop being so hard. Like you just shared your story. You're a single mum with all of the stuff that you've got to go through, and share your story. It's your story to share. But you're doing amazing. But what ended up happening is burnout.
Yeah. So for the listeners out there, I'll just touch on, so what we were talking about before we jumped on is, fairly recently, as a solo parent, entrepreneur, I was working myself to the bone. I was being there for my son and my family and doing everything between, but I burnt myself out for so long, for such a period of time, so much for so long. And I knew I was burning myself out. And I've got all the tricks, you do the meditation, do all that kind of stuff, and it does help. But it wasn't, it was kind of just prolonging things, and it got to a point where, I was completely burnt out, and I had to take 2 months off work. And, you go through all these guilty emotions and feeling like you're not good enough. But what it comes down to, I was trying to provide a life for my son, to be the best mother, to show him, resilience and all this stuff. And here I was burning myself out, trying to provide for us and do that. So it was kind of happy adverse. So I did a lot of self-reflection, as you do as a parent, and I spent more time with my son. I was more mindful, more present. While I was present before, I'm giving him my absolute now, and it's just,
and you can't do that off.
Game changer.
Also can't do that. Meaning you can't give your absolute. And so getting back to that is being honest that for those 3 years, I felt like I didn't leave the house. And I thought, but I was getting counselling, I was getting life coaching to get me through it. But let's surrender to that. That you've burnt yourself out, rather than I'm failing. Okay, the universe has been going, you need to stop. You need to stop.
Yeah.
You need to stop. We cannot have perfection. Do you know what perfection in our children's eyes are? You, your mother.
Yeah.
That's it. And even if you continue to work and continue to do whatever, you're still perfect in his eyes.
I know, but in my eyes, I couldn't stop. I was a sole provider. I'm the sole carer. I'm the sole everything. But I was kind of forced to stop. But it was the best thing. I mean, we're both very spiritual people, and I do believe, the universe presents these things to you. And it was in perfect alignment with where my life is going now. And it's all, I had a lot of time to reflect, and I've, changed direction, and I'm a lot happier. And it's, but as a parent, there's so much of the mum guilt or dad guilt or, parent guilt of just not being good enough. But it's just so challenging, and every developmental leap in every age and stage of their life is different. And you really go through those changes yourself. So you have to be able to, I guess, prepare for that as well. And
can you? This is the other thing.
Fully,
because if I look on reflection, oh my Lord, if I had a crystal ball of what was going to happen in these 3 years, I probably would have run away. Are you kidding me that I'm having to deal with this? So you can't really. I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
But let's get back to keep telling ourselves as mums, we're doing the best we can today.
Yeah.
How's that looking? And when if hopefully you'll never get to that burnout again, maybe you might, but if you're starting to feel that burnout again, pause.
And
how can
one thing that I do want to touch on, because you sort of in the realm of helping with sleep as well. So my son from a young age was never a sleeper. Every developmental leap, his sleep would just go out the window. I tried everything, literally everything. And he'd go through periods where he was waking up every 45 minutes all night, every night for months on end.
That's a sleep
cycle. And I was
cycle.
Working full time. I really don't know how to do.
God.
But now that he's older, his sleep is a lot better, but he still has those periods where he wakes throughout the night, and I
can help you. I can. And do you know what? This is what everyone says to me is like, I've tried everything, and you would have. Honest to God, you would have tried everything. But for me, if we really simplify sleep, because I do want to speak about the importance of sleep, it's a skill they can master. Not anyone's fault, right? No one's fault that he's like that at the moment. But habitually, he's a light sleeper. He comes in and out of sleep cycles, and instead of rolling in the sleep cycle in and out, he's active awake. So then what I do, again, I can definitely help, is co-sleeping for 3 years. It's about nurturing, supporting them, and then creating these new boundaries and foundations around sleep and making them feel safe. And the beautiful part around sleep, yes, it's normal to wake up, right? But the beautiful part about sleep is once we can get the right tools, then his body will start linking them and not fully waking.
And he was very attached to the dummy as well. So that's another thing. While it was good because it used to soothe him, and as a solo parent, it was like a godsend to me. But it was also, it's like a double-edged sword. But look, I wish I knew you when I was back then, when I was having all these issues, because I think it would have just turned my life around. And it's such a struggle when you're going with no sleep and you're having that difficult parenting journey anyway. Your anxiety goes through the roof, you're frustrated, you get all these emotions.
And that's normal.
So,
your brain's not functioning properly. Its chemicals are all messed up. It's 100% a contributing factor to postnatal depression and all things that we suffer. And so for me, I've just got this voice, and I'm always learning and educating myself, is like, let's look at sleep as actually a skill that you would support your child to learn, like eating, crawling, walking, whatever, rather than it's so overwhelming, which it is, and you're just so exhausted. Where are you going to go? That's what I think. So when people find me, when we talk about sleep, it's like, I only do one-on-ones and I only do this guidance, because you cannot find this on internet or Google or whatever. And everyone needs sleep, because everyone's busy and working. And like yourself, you're a single mum working full time, entrepreneur, which is harder.
But nothing is as golden as sleep when you're a parent, especially a new parent. It's just, and like you said, it's setting those foundations for them moving forward. So it's just, it's so important.
It is important.
So for any parents out there who we'll go through a few different stages. So for the parents of young children or babies who are struggling with that, what's a starting tip that you can provide to help them through those sleepless nights?
Oh, it's so tricky, isn't it? My biggest thing when I talk to people, because I offer a free 15-minute chat, a few of them a day, and it's really just a chat. And I go, you're amazing. This is not easy. But so let's look at babies that don't have any tummy ache or any discomfort, right? Then they're pretty chill. So you can easily lay these foundations of wake times, pretty important. Again, check out, it's all on my Instagram accounts and all my platforms. Wake time, super important. Like a newborn is an hour max. So trying to give them that rest, basically, like I try and talk about for everything in parenting, is we're the captains of the ship, right? they biologically don't really know what's going on. So they've come out
Yeah.
as humans, but if we can guide and support them, the sooner the better. If they're not in discomfort, that's what we do. So it's working on the wake times that's age appropriate, but always personalized. Absolutely having those beautiful cuddles for sleep, but maybe have 2 of them on you, 1 in a pram, 1 in a bassinet. So everything with parenting is just sort of implementing little strategies for them to feel comfortable as you nurture them through, and then their little bodies master the skill. So the sooner the better.
Yeah.
And also stop, again, I'm going to go back to, don't be hard on yourself. Don't be thinking you're going to make rod for back. Everything's fixable, but
Yeah.
if you can try and work towards some sort of consistent foundations that is just like those wake times and having them have that sleep in that time, then they can gently learn to sleep better. But if they're sleeping like crap, then reach out to me, but also be kind to yourself and sleep safely. Like when we first started, it was like no co-sleeping, no co-sleeping, no co-sleeping, and that was a safety thing for SIDS, right? And I'm very, very big on that, because sadly, when my eldest was 6 months, some of our best friends lost their child.
Oh, really?
That is the worst thing, and I get teary in my heart thinking of
them.
18 now. So I live and breathe by the recommendations of SIDS. So when we talk about co-sleeping, everyone's going to do it safely, because they don't want anything done with their baby. But if I now, SIDS or Red Nose, have a chart on how to not for big kids like you're sleeping with, but I mean little ones, how to co-sleep safely if you're going to, because everyone's so exhausted, they're just naturally doing it. And so that's what I'd say. If you are at absolute exhaustion, you only want 1 parent in there, have a look at SIDS or Red Nose, and then do that safely. Don't be falling asleep on the couch or the chair or anything like that. So kind of survival mode if sleep's crap, but check out Red Nose Australia. They have a chart and have that safely.
Because it's really something. I mean, I know when I was younger, SID was huge. There was a lot of advertisement around it. There was a lot of talk about out there, but these days it's not maybe as much that I think.
There's not.
Yeah.
There's not. And that's why I've had to, I'm constantly changing my approach as a sleep consultant or sleep specialist and parenting specialist. But I have to move with the times. I can't be 7 years ago or 10 years ago, 18 years ago, right? It's just not the same. We live in a very different world. And interestingly, it should still be talked about a lot, but it's not.
Yeah.
Because it's not, everyone's co-sleeping or everyone's falling asleep on the couch. And I'm like, okay, no, I have to ring SIDS. It's not their fault because they're exhausted, but they're not given that knowledge. So it's like, okay, here's what we want. If you're really exhausted, go to bed and put them safely in a space with no and then get some sleep. But there's these things that you want to do. That's probably the most important.
Yeah. And so do you have parents come to you perhaps with older children, like primary school age, who may have been good sleepers have regressed for whatever reason? So and what kind of tips can you offer for older children?
Do you know, it gets back to the conscious connected parenting. Like, again, when I say that, people are like, what does that mean? Airy fairy? No, it's not. It's connection with bless you. It's about when they get older, the world that our children live in is way more anxiety driven than when we grew up, because of everything they see, even if we're trying to protect them. So when you've got a pre-primary, kindy, whatever, it's normal for them to have separation anxiety. It's normal for all of these things. But this overwhelm as parents, then we sort of panda, and then it unravels, because our kids need us to be the captains of the ship. And then when we're all like, they're like, So when we talk about that, what I talk about is connection. So I'm not saying that you're not connected, because every parent is doing the best they can.
Yeah.
But when you're getting older kids, they need better sleep. So we want connection, 10, 20, 15, 20 minutes of one-on-one, no phones, no TVs, books, reading, all of that stuff, super important. A bit more. When kids get older, like 6 or 7, and I work with them, they might be stressed and anxious, not wanting to go to school, whatever. They don't really know what that feeling is. They're just telling verbally, that's what I am doing. That's what I'm feeling. So that's what I do with the parents is do all of that at home. So there's no rushing. There's lots of connection. Then you're going to sit with them in the room for a bit, because what happens is you can say, what happened today? Nothing. I hate my teacher. I don't want to go to school. It stresses me out. Like, I'm so stressed, I don't want to go to school. That's normal. Let's not pander to just that. I'm not saying that kids don't have anxiety, because they do. So instead of panicking, let's take a step back, have that one-on-one, and then sit in the chair and just sit there for a little bit with them, and they will always open up.
Yeah.
Always. And
they really will, even if it takes a couple of hours.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
This kid was mean to me, and you don't have to fix. Don't fix. Just hear.
Just hear. Yeah.
That sounds like it's really whatever. Then, for example, because I work with it quite a lot, is that's the first thing is at home, being conscious to be in that moment and hear them out, but don't go fixing. Parents, but no fixing. You give them the tools, and then you talk to the teacher and you say, this is what's happening behind the scenes, and then the teacher will be on board, and then you just gently implement, being able to leave them there and giving them the tools. And then the other really big important thing that I say to parents that this is happening is say to the child, let's have a sentence or a time that you can go to the teacher if you feel upset, and that's a game changer. So what happens is kids have these big feelings of overwhelm, but they're not actually fully anxious, but they have these feelings, but they don't feel they can go to the teacher. So then they have this little code, like, so can come up and go, oh, something, and then so that automatically gives that child that sense of safety, that if they're feeling that way, that teacher's going to know, rather than, oh, so-and-so dogged on me, and then they're going to be
that's really good to have that code idea. I really like that, because children often, they don't want to say things perhaps in front of the other children, or be that dobber or what have you. And it's that's a beautiful way to kind of to look at it and to talk to the teacher about.
It's a game changer. Then once we get their mind settled, and then the calmness and the nurturing and the more connected parenting, because we're all trying to be connected and conscious. Everyone's doing their best. Then their little minds can rest easy. And then when I work with families, it's all about connection. And then we gently move the parent out, connection, So then they feel really safe in their space, and they love their space. It's like for me now with the teenagers, they never come out of their room. And I was really upset about that when we were in a tough time. But now I'm like, that's a safe space.
Yeah.
They go to work, they go to sports, they're social, they don't want to be around their parents too much, and they've got a lovely space, and I've got to be okay with that.
And we all need that quiet time. Even me, like if I don't have some kind of quiet time to myself over a longer period, you just more and more anxious, and you build up. It's just time to reflect and talk to yourself.
I'm annoyed if I don't have my time. So it's relearning that they don't need to be with you all the time. They don't need to be, it changes as they get older, but, adjusting to life and not having to try. My biggest issue, which caused an issue, was I tried to fix. I tried, and she got angrier and angrier at me. And so now I'm like, oh, what's happened, if she ever wants to speak to me? And the more that I backed away from that, and she loves me, I love her, as I back away from that, then she's feeling safe to share, rather than she wasn't safe sharing because I was a fixer. And that she didn't want that. So it's the same as teenagers as it is with toddlers and small kids. The same kind of parenting idea.
Yeah, because I've had the same with my son. He went through a really tough time a while back, and I was wanting to fix him as well. And it's like, all right, what's happened? But I've sort of learned to now, you back off a little bit, and then over dinner we'll talk about our days, or maybe perhaps in bed, or we'll have a play before bed, and he'll just open up. That's his safe time, his quiet time, and you just want to listen, and they just want someone to know what they've been through and to really acknowledge that.
And they also don't want you to go to school and tell that parent off, or that they really don't. So and then that's when you might email the teacher and go, look, not expecting you to do anything, but this is how she's feeling or he's feeling. Can you have a code word or whatever if she feels a little bit sad about it? Doesn't want to. The more I've found with having the 3 girls, the parents that went in and did the fixing, by the time they're year 6 or 7, everyone knows that they're a dibby dobber, and the parent, it's not stuff. So you want to support and guide them the back end. But
it's hard to do though as a parent, isn't it? When you just want to do everything for them.
I've got to grab them by the collar and go, why are you being so mean to my daughter? But you cannot. And I've never done that, but I'm just saying, that little explosive cartoon parent is like, you want to go fix that, and it's better if you don't support, talk to the teacher, things that they don't need to know about. So I liken it to, if you've ever been at the bowling alley have you been to the bowling alley with your
Yeah.
They put bumpers up.
Yeah.
Wear the bumpers. We're the guides, we're the support, we're the love, we're protecting, but we're not fixing. We're not putting it in a jar and putting the lid on and like doing it for them. We've got to be the bumpers.
Yeah, and they need to learn to be able to really work through those sort of problems and things themselves, because it's life skills. It's setting them up for life. And if you're not fixing things and doing things for them all the time, they're never going to learn, and they're going to struggle through like their later years. So,
and I feel like I've got all this to talk about now because I've lived the depths of it, and it's not been great. And so my 18-year-old's just about to graduate, and she's done amazing, but she literally lost a year or so through depression and stuff, and it was really severe. And she's happy for me to share it because I've spoken to her about it. But I said to her, and a lot of it on reflection, again, I wanted to shake some collars. She got in the wrong social group in year 7, and they were awful to her and mean and exclusive. And I didn't do anything. I was awful, which it wasn't the contributing factor, but it was one of the reasons she got so depressed. Yeah. Perfect storm, right? Just in a little nutshell. So light at the end of the tunnel, or my crystal ball that I'm going to tell you all, that was really, really some of the worst years of my life with the kids with that. But on the other side, she's just finished year 12. She's got a WACE certificate. She's going to uni. Like, it's amazing. Yeah. And I said to her the other day, looking on reflection in year 7, would you have changed? Like, because she's got a beautiful group of friends now that are musical and quirky, and I love them. And she dead set said, absolutely no way. I've been through all of that. I'm resilient. I have learned. I wouldn't change a thing. And
that's beautiful.
So if any mum is hearing this when it's really hard and you want to fix everything and you want to put them in a cotton ball, and you will want to feel that, know with your guidance and strength and regulating yourself, they'll get through it.
Yeah, and that's so important, like you said, to regulate yourself and work through your own sort of personal development as a parent and as just in general life, because it's just so important to be able to to provide that assistance, but back off.
I'm talking 48. I'm 48 with teenage kids. I did not regulate. I was not regulating when they were teenagers, because everything was smaller. They were easy, but when it got bad, I got emotional. I lost my temper. I have not regulated myself. Even the last few years, I would get so upset and worked up. I'd get upset. That's not so I also want to say that we're at this point, at this moment in time, but a lot of the times I was not regulated. At all.
And I think every parent will say the same thing. You'll lose your shizzy sometimes.
Yes. And let's normalize that. And again, going through all the counselling, again, life lessons, particularly one of the children, I can remember, because she was a bit more fiery, had bigger tantrums, and I was a fixer, let's try and fix it. We're going forever. So I remember these things that I did. I didn't smack her or anything, but, sort of fighting the fight when she was little. And we were doing some family counselling, and it opens up stuff. And I've gone to her when we left, look, you're not going to be in trouble. I'm not going to get upset. Truly. Is there anything that you can remember Mum doing or Dad doing that's made you feel this way? And straight up she went, no. And I was like, oh my God, she can't remember. She can't, because every time something happens, we analyze it and it's marked in our head that they're going to remember that moment. But when they're overall loved, protected and safe, those shitty times that we're shitty, if it's not a consistent everyday thing, it's not what they remember.
You're
going, oh gosh. Yeah.
It's so important to really talk about the parenting journey and just be vulnerable and open, because, I still have some friends that I know we're open, we talk about anything, but then there's others who are really a closed book. I don't want anyone to know this, and it's really, and look, that's their jam, that's fine. But I think normalizing it and being open about it, it's such a relief off your shoulders. And it's just, there's nothing wrong with feeling that way or going through certain things, because we all do it. Doesn't matter where you're from or what you do or anything like that. It's just
everyone, it looks different. And through a big chunk of my time, I wouldn't have ever talked about this ever, and I never asked for help. And I just think, gosh, I need to let everybody know, ask for help, talk about it, because
and I was the same. I'd never tell. I used to never talk about anything. I'd always just get on with it, and never ask for help. And But I
Yeah.
know maybe it comes with age as well. You just stop caring about what people think, and you just yourself. You know, it's all about having those connections with other people and being yourself and being proud of who you are. And you just, you know, we've all got this, regardless of ups and downs. It's just,
Absolutely, you know, and we talk about it and normalize it. It's like, oh, okay, I've had a crap day. Let's start tomorrow. You know, like we're all, like I keep saying, this is all just the human experience.
Yeah, exactly. And the more you open up, everybody's got the same sort of journey. It's just like, you know, it's everywhere. So, look, thank you so much for chatting to me today. I think we've had some really great conversations, and I think, like you said, it's time to normalise these things. So, look, for anyone who's wanting to reach out to you, whether it be for sleep or parenting advice or what have you, what's the best channel to get in touch with you?
Yeah, all platforms. It's Bub to Sleep, BUB 2 Sleep. I do have an amazing community subscription sort of membership I've just started a few months ago, which I'm loving. It's only little at the moment, but this is what I'm trying to encourage. Open conversations, definitely talking about sleep. So they have unlimited access to me in there. But now I'm starting to say, let's talk about parenting. How's your parenting today? Mine's been crap. But just normalizing it in that safe space, because on my Instagram, I try and be really real and authentic, but I can't put everything on there. So that's kind of a safe space. So that's my membership. The other thing is, if sleep is a real struggle, really understand it doesn't need to be scary. We do not need to leave our babies. It can be really nurturing, but everybody can master the skill of sleeping well. And that's where I do my one-on-ones. So,
Okay, awesome. So, look, for all the listeners out there, we will put all the information and links in the bio as well. So, look, once again, thank you so much for our chat today. It's been a wonderful conversation, and anyone out there who wants to have a chat, they can reach out to Donna on
DM me.
Yeah,
definitely.
All right, well, thank you, everybody, and we'll be up with some more podcasts soon. Bye.